New year, new team. That's usually what they say, but it's the harsh reality for Missouri basketball. I'm here with the executive director of the association, Todd McCubbin. Todd, great turnout today. Can you tell me about the general excitement of the fan base with being a holiday week and then also the first bowl game in 3 years for these Tiger fans?
Yeah, they're pretty fired up.
These Block M helmets on a Saturday afternoon in Columbia bring back a lot of memories for Mizzou fans, but it's not Mizzou, it's Marceline High School looking for its historic moment on this field this afternoon in the state championship. Well, this week means a lot for these upperclassmen, Ben. They've missed out on a bowl game the past 2 seasons despite being bowl eligible. As your perspective as a former AD, what does it mean seeing a turnout like this for a bowl game for this program?
Well, I think it's huge.
Ben, the defense is doing everything it said it would. Discipline is what we've seen. Jeff City Jay's defense had a heck of a night. 17 steals to hold Warrensburg under 30 points. That's right, we have a lot of special coverage coming up. We've even seen some Mizzou players out here with their families really getting excited for the week and what's ahead. Mizzou Nation got a look into the future today after the first half blowout over SEMO. All 3 quarterbacks in the Tiger depth chart had touchdowns, including the highly anticipated true freshman Tyler Macon. The Razorback was full this afternoon for the Battle Line rivalry, but the Mizzou offense proved to be running on empty to end their regular season. The head football coaches at California and Hallsville go way back, and their first game across the sidelines from one another felt like a family reunion. The brotherly love for head coaches Justin Conyers and Seth Womack began over 20 years ago at Westminster College, but so did their competitiveness. On the field,
while we were at school playing, teammates,
and off.
NCAA dynasty.
A video game stoked their competitive fire and dreams of facing off as coaches.
He'll make up some baloney story that he used to beat me at NCAA football on PlayStation. I always won every time with Iowa. Don't forget that, Seth. 2
best friends who would talk on their college couch about coaching against one another someday on these fields. But it took 20 years to happen because Seth and his family moved to Oregon.
We decided to pick up and head out that way, and so we were there for 8 years.
But the 2 never lost touch.
You know, during season, it's at least once a week conversations.
Catching up and talking about life.
Common theme was football, of course.
They shared game notes, coaching tips, and everything in between. So when an opportunity arose for Seth to come home,
Justin called me and he said, hey, the California head coach just resigned, and he said, that's a job you need to call their AD tomorrow.
Seth got that job at California High School, knowing that meant he would finally get to play against his best friend like they always talked about.
It was kind of surreal, you know, whenever you found out, man, my guy's really coming back.
Friends reunited, but also competitors reunited.
He made a point to tell me that, you know, if I got the job, he'd be sure to beat us real good. We'll see how that goes Friday.
Hallsville and California battled it out in a physical mud bowl. In the end, Hallsville came out on top, 46-6. So Justin gets the bragging rights this year, but there's no hard feelings between these 2.
Hey, Seth, man, one heck of a job, man. I know that you got this program going in the right direction, and if you ever need anything, I'm here to help, buddy, and I know the same from you. Good luck next week, and get a conference championship, bud. Love you.
As for the start of a new Tri-County Conference rivalry, both coaches were clear that this was just game 1 of many.
It was a blast. On to next year.
And on to next week for Hallsville. They head to Boonville on Friday to try to cap off their undefeated regular season and win a conference championship for the first time in school history. Well, Fort Worth is known as being the city of cowboys and culture. And just about 20 minutes from where Mizzou will play in the Armed Forces Bowl tomorrow is a place you just can't go without seeing. It's the famous Stockyards. It's got good shops, good eats, and a whole lot of country. Once a bustling livestock exchange hub just outside of downtown Fort Worth, the Stockyards is now a bustling hub for entertainment. One of the most iconic stops in the district.
When people go to the Stockyards, they come to Billy Bob's as their main event.
Billy Bob's Honky Tonk, the largest honky tonk in the world and where people go to dance, eat, drink, ride the bull, and listen to live country music.
You get a real Texas experience here.
Backstage at Billy Bob on the walls are the logos and signatures of all the artists that have played there.
Alan Jackson, Dwight Yoakam.
Around the district, you can find anything you need to get outfitted in country wear for your night out.
We see it happen all the time. They come in, buy a hat, and they're out. Or they come in, get a pair of boots, and they're wearing them. Well, no, they come here for that.
ML Letty's has been at the corner of Exchange and Main since the 1940s, making custom-fitted boots and more. They've even made boots for President George W. Bush. It may be full of neon lights and attractions, but the Stockyards hasn't lost touch of its history.
It's still Cowtown. We still run the cattle through Exchange Street twice a day.
On the same original bricks of the historic Exchange Street. And then at night, the lights come on.
Incredible. It's beautiful. First time we've been down this time of year. It's great. So we're really enjoying the sights, everything Fort Worth's got to offer.
An experience unlike any other.
Everybody at some point in their life wanted to be a cowboy, and now they have that opportunity to do that here in Fort Worth.
When people come to Fort Worth, if you want good entertainment or you want to get a good cultural feel, then come to Billy Bob's, go see a rodeo.
A place in Fort Worth you just can't afford to miss.
It becomes a destination for people to not only come to Fort Worth to see, but now they come here to stay.
It gives you the true Fort Worth experience.
In front of distinguished guests and the media at Memorial Stadium, Desiree Reed-Francois became Mizzou's first woman director of athletics.
I feel incredibly humbled and incredibly honored to have this opportunity.
Not only to be the first woman in this position at Mizzou, but first Hispanic woman as well. Historic, but not just for Missouri. Reed-Francois becomes the first woman athletic director at a public university in the SEC and one of 2 in the whole SEC.
It's the greatest conference in the entire country.
Now, Reed-Francois understands her role as a pioneer in the sports industry, but she just wants to be a stepping stone for the future of women in her business.
It's truly a privilege for me to be able to be in this role, but also to provide context for young ladies that maybe aspire to have a role like this someday.
This historic hire comes at a time when inequity between men and women in the sports industry has been brought to national attention. To Reed-Francois, it takes a village to help young women combat these issues, and she has the full support of her superiors in her ability to do so.
I know how important it is as when you're in these chairs to reach behind and grow that next group up.
She has the vision, the experience, and the tough-mindedness that we need.
The day was full of smiles and excitement for the legacy she's begun and continues to build. Kayler Smith, KOMU 8 News, Columbia. The last time Mizzou basketball won a midweek game was 1 month ago today against Kentucky. They've since lost 3 midweek games in a row, plummeting the Tigers from the national polls heading into their final stretch. Now, Mizzou is already in Indiana getting prepped for this weekend, and this news out of OU could bode well for the Tigers, who have not won an NCAA tournament game since 2010. Over the past decade, Mizzou fans have seen good Tiger teams come and go, and they're itching for some tournament success. Well, you know it well. I-70 series, Show Me series, whatever you call it. It's the Cardinals and Royals tonight, kicking off the rivalry to see which city prevails with the bragging rights this year. College football history is being made as some of the foundations of the game as we know it today are changing. Multiple reports today now stand firmly that Texas and Oklahoma are leaving the Big 12 to join the SEC. The wait is finally over. After the thrilling no-hitter finish to the regional tournament Sunday, Mizzou softball returns to the field tonight for Game 1 of the Super Regional against James Madison. Congratulations, Salvi. Well, he's feeling good, but the Royals need some of that confidence, and they need it fast. Kansas City fell to 14 games back from 500 over the weekend when the Red Sox swept them in Boston. That's what Speed Do returns to KC. Kansas City reportedly reached a 1-year agreement with outfielder Gerard Dyson, former world champ with the Royals in 2015. And that's a look at sports.